Votes express the will of the American people, senators, and we don't know how they voted. In many cases, the remnants of November 3rd have been, well, destroyed. And those records of the votes are not available to those who would like to have an honest recount or an honest audit. The fact is, federal law requires that those votes, those ballots, be kept for 22 months. But numerous jurisdictions decided they didn't need to keep them. I think that every jurisdiction that made that decision should have to vote again. Our first guests this evening have raised concerns about the integrity of the election in Georgia. Today, a Fulton County Superior Court judge refused to take up a hearing to determine whether ballots from the November election should be forensically inspected. The request for the inspection was brought forward by Garland Favorito. Mr. Favorito is the co-founder of Voter Georgia, an election integrity watchdog group, and he joins us now, as does David Cross, concerned citizen who has been amongst the team analyzing votes in Georgia with Garland. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. And let me say, Garland, you've been working on integrity in our elections for decades. To be told in that court today you wouldn't be able to inspect ballots, your reaction?
Well, you've been leading this issue as well from the broadcast media for 16 years, Lou, so thank you very much. We were very disturbed by this, as it was a kind of what we call an administrative trick that was pulled today. And what they tried to say that our lawsuit...
Who pulled it? Who pulled the trick?
Well,
we're very tight on time. I want to say, I'm sorry, Garland. We're very tight for time, so I need to get right to, if I may, the punch. Who pulled the trick, as you call it?
Well, we think our lawsuit was moved by the Chief Magistrate Justice or the judge herself to an administrative, a different judicial district. And it's apparently they did not want to hear it in Fulton County. That we were upset about that at first. However, we have determined that might have actually worked to our advantage, because just before we came on the air here, I did get word that we will be having a hearing on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So this
and the purpose of that hearing is to do what, Garland?
We'll be
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what is that purpose?
For public inspection of the ballots of Fulton County. These are the ballots that we have 4 sworn affidavits that were fraudulent, and ballots that were handled during the audit. And these are the ballots that were also illegally scanned at State Farm Arena over and over again, as you said earlier, Lou.
And David, these ballots, are you expecting to see them as soon as the judge makes a ruling? Is that what you would have expected had you got a ruling today?
Well, I mean, I'm a normal person. I would think we would, but I obviously don't know how how this whole process with lies and corruption works. But the bottom line is that we don't know when we're going to see them. Hopefully, we'll see them. We were hoping to see them today, but I don't know when we'll see them.
Well, I'm looking at some numbers of the military vote in Fulton County, and they're rather astonishing, some of these. You've been putting these, analyzing them. In one instance, a batch 1, if we can put this up, batch 1 in Fulton County, absentee by mail, 950 votes were cast. 950 of them went to Joseph Biden.
Correct.
What in the world? What in the world does that mean? It seems like an impossibility. Then I look down here at another place, and we're looking at 1,475 votes to 289. Joe Biden won 84% of the military ballots in Fulton County. Do we know if that's ever happened before? I mean, that just seems outrageously one-sided.
I don't think that's ever happened for. I don't think it's ever happened for any presidential candidate to get 84% of the vote like that. And the president easily won 70% nationwide. So I don't know how Georgia was like the lone standout black sheep where he only got 15%.
Well, it's remarkable, the numbers and the work that you gentlemen are doing and your other team members trying to get to the truth. I want to turn very quickly. Is it your sense that the corruption could be faithfully and fairly described as local and county corruption rather than state? How would you, Garland, describe who are the corrupt actors here?
It's bipartisan corruption, Lou, as you probably are aware. In this case, we have pretty solid evidence that Fulton County has corrupted the vote. We know that 950 to 0 cannot possibly be legitimate numbers. But on the other hand, we have the Republican Secretary of State covering up for the Democrats by saying that there is no fraud in the state of Georgia. It didn't happen. Everything was normal ballot processing at State Farm Arena. Nothing to see here. We know that he is not telling the truth.
And your take, David, the corruption, as you say, you're a private citizen trying to help out and get to the truth. Your sense, very quickly as we wrap up here.
Oh, listen, totally. So I went to the second vote recount, and I sent you guys a picture of unsecured ballot totes. When I was there, I saw 9 unsecured ballot totes that didn't have locking mechanisms at all. When I went back over to tell Garland the rest of the team,
can we pick that picture? Excuse me, 1 second. Let's put up that picture if we could, please. Thank you. And,
so I was.
What are people looking at here, David?
So what you're looking at is this is called a ballot transport tote. It's a black suitcase with a locking mechanism on it. And each one of them was supposed to have a red zip tie on it to signify that it was secure. When I went back and spoke with Garland and a couple other folks, I said, there's 9 of these things over here that aren't secure. And the first reaction I got from Garland was, David, that's not possible. They all have to be secure. So I took Garland and another couple gentlemen back over, and when I got close to one of the bags, I pointed at one with my foot. I was about 6 inches away from it, and a woman came running over and said, you kicked that ballot transport bag. You're out of here. We told you not to touch it. Get out of here. And so she brought over 2 security guards and took me off the property. So they're hiding something, and it probably has something to do with those ballot totes, because each one of them will hold anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 ballots. And if you've got 9 of them insecure, that's 35,000 potential ballots that skip the chain of custody.
Yeah. Right. David Cross, Garland Favoreto, thank you both for being with us and being involved in trying to get to the truth of this thing for the American people, not for anyone else, frankly. Let everybody else wait. I'm tired of worrying about who gets to see the truth. It should be the American people, and the right to know is being just crushed in this country by nearly every institution we depend upon. That, I hope, is among the things